I really want to thank you both for coming here. I'm so deeply sorry for your loss, and thank you for allowing us to mourn with you. I can assure you that I will do everything in my power, my law office, these great organizers, these people here today. We are all behind this family, and we will do everything we can to bring justice to your beautiful daughter. God rest her soul. Kayleen's case is unfortunately not unusual. It is something that we will be litigating in the United States Court of Federal Claims. This is a special court that has been set up to handle vaccine injury claims. In litigating these claims, we often hear stories about how once perfectly healthy and normal kids dramatically changed after receiving vaccinations. Some have dramatic reactions, and others have slower and more subtle changes. Often the injuries manifest in the signs of autism, unusual tics, neurological disorders, and other types of regressions and illnesses. Honestly, can so many parents be mistaken about what is happening to their children after receiving the shots? No, they can't. In Kayleen's case, according to her parents, her reaction was so severe to the vaccine that she had to be rushed to the hospital, where she died shortly thereafter. My firm also represented your neighbor and my friend, Jennifer Workman, from Logan County, West Virginia, in the matter of Workman versus Mingo County. Jennifer and her family have also been stricken by vaccine injuries, and as a result, Jennifer refused to immunize her youngest daughter after her older daughter suffered a severe and adverse reaction to vaccinations. Jennifer's doctor gave her a medical exemption and said that her daughter should not be immunized, but it was rejected by your state health officials. Jennifer also has religious beliefs contrary to the practice of vaccinating. As a Pentecostal Baptist, she believes that God has given her the job to raise her daughter as she sees fit in the best way possible. And for Jennifer believes that vaccinating her daughter is a sin. Whether you believe these to be truths or not, in this country, if you hold a sincere religious belief, it's a protected right. These rights to avoid vaccines are protected by the United States Constitution. But yet your state health department said, sorry, no shots, no school. Jennifer's daughter was excluded from school and her family was harassed. Jennifer's case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, but unfortunately was not granted certiorari. This was unfortunate because it was an important chance, an opportunity to present this issue to the Supreme Court. I believe that these cases are not going to go away, and we are going to continue to petition the court. We will continue to petition the legislature, and we will have our day in front of the United States Supreme Court, where we will argue the constitutionality of these laws. Much of these laws rely on a case called Jacobson versus Massachusetts. Jacobson is a very important case, and I want to tell you a little bit about it. In 1905, the Supreme Court upheld the authority of states to enforce compulsory vaccination laws. The court's decision articulated the view that the freedom of the individual must sometimes be subordinated to the common welfare and is subject to police power of the state. I don't necessarily reject that proposition, And I think that sometimes we do have to subordinate for the rights and the good of others. But is mass vaccinations really the way to do that? No, it's not. Jacobson was an immigrant, a Swedish immigrant that lived in Massachusetts 100 years ago during a smallpox outbreak. He had become ill from the vaccine, as did his son and others that he knew, and he refused the shot. The courts now are comparing today's environment to what happened 100 years ago to Henning Jacobson. How could anybody possibly compare this aggressive vaccination schedule in the United States to law that was formulated nearly 100 years ago? I told you, kids in the United States by the age of 5 are getting 77 doses of diseases in the form of mists, cocktails, and injections. Why is it that a perfectly normal and healthy child has to get a hepatitis shot the minute the baby is born? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And it is purely a profit motivation. You do hear stories about conspiracy. You hear stories about corruption. And those things can become very overwhelming at times. And they may exist here. But I try not to go down that path because I am an American and I still believe in our government. And I wouldn't trade this country, this state, for anything in the world. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. And that's why we're here today. What's going on with this movement is the most exciting example of participatory government that I have ever seen. And I really, truly believe that your officials are listening. There is no doubt that Big Pharma is using our government and our children as tools to make profit. Well, I don't want to be a tool anymore, and I don't think our government does either. So we're here today to say no to the shots and to support this movement. And if you truly put your faith in God, and you truly believe you are doing the right thing, and that is a protected right under the Constitution, then ask God for his blessings and believe that you are doing the right thing and do not give up the fight. I want to thank you all so much for being here. You have no idea the fondness that I have for West Virginia. It's a very important place to me, and a place that I hope someday that I can leave New York and come to live here. Because I believe that mountain people have a respect for themselves and a respect for others that you don't always see on a New York City subway on a Monday morning. And I think it's because of the beauty that you're surrounded with. I'm so very, very happy to be here. Thank you again. Let's go, Mountaineers! My choice, my choice, my choice. My choice, my child, my choice, my child. My child, my choice. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.